sardines around, you know, it's like wintertime barrels and cooking surf. All the creatures, whales, orcas, dolphins, big giant sharks just in a shore break everywhere rolling in. There's just game fish, tuna, kuta, garrick. Everything's chasing the sardines like a big National Geographic migration of fish. It's wild, eh?
Every year, millions of sardines set off on a journey from the southern tip of Africa in the world's largest marine migration. These tiny fish will travel over 1,000 miles along some of the wildest coastline on Earth, as thousands of creatures, both big and small, give chase. Their voyage coincides with deep winter swells that sweep up the South African coast, setting in motion another chase. And it all starts here.
I think we're on a proper big line. Sitting out there alone in the middle of the ocean, not ideal, but should be good. The Cape Peninsula is pretty much the edge of Africa. The sea is very much alive, and you jump into the water, you just feel like part of the food chain. You definitely feel a part of the food chain at times, and basically these raw swells come from Antarctica, straight from deep ocean, and they just hit the tip of Africa. There's two different currents and two different oceans that run on either side of South Africa. There's the cold side and there's the warm side, and it's quite a change of environment. There's big waves, heavy water slabs, wedging beach break barrels, and you can go from one coastline to the next around the peninsula, and you've got a complete different feel.
Scientists believe that these extreme water temperatures are the driving force behind the Sardine Run. Sardinops sajax, these little fellas, love cool, cold water and spawn in their millions along the Agulhas Bank off the southern tip of Africa, where the warm and cold ocean currents meet. As winter approaches, cold water wells up along the southeast coast of South Africa and flows in a counterclockwise direction to the prevailing warm water current. Our sardines start to chase these cold, nutrient-rich waters north, triggering a wildlife migration unlike any other on Earth, around the same time that deep winter swells start rolling up the coast. Aidan's plan was simple. Meet up with a crew of friends on the Transkei Wild Coast, a remote, surf-rich stretch of coastline located halfway between Cape Town and Durban, and follow the swells up to the sand-bottom barrels of KwaZulu-Natal. The start of the Sardine Run usually occurs far offshore and out of sight, but there are a couple of other reasons to make a detour along the way. The foundation for Jeffreys Bay was laid millions of years ago, when a massive lava flow developed across the continent. The sharp fingers of reef that line the points inside the bay are in fact ancient lava that cooled down and hardened into rock. Add a few million years of erosion, and these fingers of reef lie at just the right angle to receive the predominant southwest swells that sweep up the coastline. At the same time, sand and shells get packed in tightly between the rocks, creating a smooth bottom contour. The end result is one of the fastest, most perfect waves on the planet. As perfect as J Bay is, you're definitely not going to be surfing it alone. And after a brief detour, it was time for Aidan to head onto the Wild Coast to meet up with his crew. They had all heard the rumors about perfect, empty point breaks with just the dolphins for company. The sardines were on their way too, which usually signals the best time for waves. Subtropical paradise was waiting. Umdumbi lies in the middle of the Wild Coast and was the rendezvous point for Aidan and his crew of friends. Its central location makes it the ideal base camp to strike out to other waves in the area. But an unseasonal cyclone had swung abruptly on shore and had other plans.
So we're here, but I don't know where the sand or the point is.
The storm cleared up the following morning, but by then, the damage was done.
There's been heavy rain and storms and stuff, so there's been crazy rivers running out and just creating quite a bit of havoc, and plenty of debris everywhere.
Without a rideable wave in sight, they returned to camp. Wait a minute, where are my manners? Let's introduce the rest of the crew. Frankie Oberholzer, free surfing legend and fisherman from Warner Beach, South Africa.
No heat's going on here, let's fight.
Sophie Bell, barrel charger and rising star from Salt Rock, Durban.
Must I be serious or small?
Micah Margison, master carver and son of the legendary Margot from Cabarita, Australia.
This is my quiver I bring to the Transky. 5'10", 5'11". This is my 5'6.5" epoxy groveler.
And Harley Ingleby, longboarding world champ and jack of all trades from New South Wales, Australia. Unfortunately, Harley ended up going down with a gnarly travel bug and spent the trip riding his mattress instead. Sorry, Harley. And this is Cow. You see Cow and her friends everywhere on the Wild Coast. Let's get back to our story. With no prospects of surfing around camp and the weather clearing, the crew decided to strike out to a legendary point break 2 hours north.
You got it?
On its day, the wave is said to rival J Bay, but it was a gamble. The storm may have completely destroyed the sandbanks the wave relies on, or it could have deposited even more sand. Those were odds they were willing to take.
No, it's very muddy, eh? You get no grip. But it's not too bad, but if you start sliding, it's quite muddy, slippery shit. Good, see?
Oh,
Mike,
just get a preg.
Let's go.
Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! Go, go! I got jammed in the bush. Well, at least I made it. Thought they weren't going to make it. Sky. Good for fishing. Good point there, you can see the potential. Oh. Yeah, you check there where it's
like,
deep, is normally where the sand is. So it's moved across. It's touring day.
Fishing day.
Fishing day. Washing dishes day, yeah. Banks come, banks go. That's surfing, bro, you know what I mean? It's not all about the waves, it's about just being here. It's like totally different to anywhere else in Africa. Transkei is Transkei. It's mountains on the beach. All the rivers are beautiful. Milky Way at night to the stars, you just check, it's just like... It makes you forget about all the worries in life. If you get surf, it's just an extra bonus. I just like going on a hike with my rod and walking, checking all the rivers. You don't always catch, but that's fishing for you. Same like the surf, you've got to keep hunting. traveling the whole car in the backwards.
The wind, as it inevitably does, eventually changed direction.
Oh, look at the poo, right? I think a car came and took a big dump on my board. As it walked past or something.
Sure that was a cow, man? Freaking Baltimore rail for you? It was like super brown water the last few days from all the rain. It's cleaned up, sun's out today, and yeah, looks fun.
It wasn't what they had come for, but it was probably better than the surf at most QS contests.
Finally hitting the water.
And with that, the first Wild Coast Invitational was on. As the offshore kicked in for real, Frankie noticed another change, this time far out to sea.
Oh, there they are, plenty. See there, between the casuarina there. That's sardines, eh? They definitely are. Check the birds. When they dive like torpedoes or kamikaze pilots, then you know it's a big shoal.
Seabirds, like the Cape gannet, are often the most visible sign of approaching shoals. These airborne hunters hit the water at speeds of up to 70 miles an hour as they dive for their prey. The impact is cushioned by air sacs under the skin of the gannet's face, and they chase the sardines underwater by kicking their feet and flapping their wings. Yeah, these birds are gnarly. See what I mean? As the sardines approach the wild coast, the steep continental shelf concentrates them into a narrow band of cold water running just offshore. This is where the shoals are often most dense and can sprawl for miles upon miles on end. Scientists claim the entire migration is in fact an ecological trap. There is no real benefit for the sardines as they chase the cold water current and get trapped between the coastline and warmer water further offshore. But the run sustains millions of other creatures who are treated to a seemingly endless buffet. While the action was heating up offshore, Aiden decided to take a hike to get a closer look at an exposed peak he'd spotted in the distance. He wasn't expecting much, but the offshore wind had a surprise in store.
Oh!
the session didn't last long.
Couple fun waves, but pretty sketchy actually. Definitely sharky and felt the vibes out there, 100%. And then I think the swell just built too much or something and it got a little bit big. But it just shows you how wild the place is. I mean, it changes every single minute.
With the sardines rapidly approaching and a fresh ground swell building, the crew decided they'd take one more roll of the dice the next morning, this time further south.
It's crazy. I mean, there's nothing around here. Greenery, hills, and there's a river flowing out here. There's a crazy wave there. We did see a couple dolphins, saw a couple birds, saw a couple fish, but
we're safe.
We're safe
because you got a shark band on. Buy a shark band.
Let's get out there.
Mick Fanning. Stephanie Gilmore model.
Even though they hadn't scored at all time, there was no denying the wave's potential.
I think with the sand, it'll be good. Imagine that place.
Yeah, it would be
like
crazy, yeah.
Because
all the sand's here on the inside type of thing.
I think
It's going to be such good waves.
if from
big gap.
Dumbi's cooking the sand, you come here, it'll be fiery. Looks nice from here, hey? If it's sand, you're in the barrel then. You're going to have fun.
The crew vowed to return to this hidden paradise someday when the sand was back. Just then, the real locals pulled in.
How's that? That's good timing, eh? Oh, the next one. Big Charlotte dolphin.
There's hundreds of them.
Look, that's definitely sardine dolphins. They come.
The megapod was a sign. It was time to leave the wild coast and follow the dolphins as they chased their prey north. Friends arrived just as the first real waves of the season were rolling in and joined the red-hot local crew as things started heating up in the water.
The ocean comes alive at this time of the year in every way imaginable. You've got generally pretty good winter swells. You've got the humpback whale migration. And then you've got the sardines. It's really only when they come to KZN and hit the south coast that it's closer inshore. And from the beach, you can see everything. You can see the sharks getting stuck in the mix. You can see the dolphins as well, the birds diving. So you overlay all these different things, and going for a surf is insane.
As the sardines approach KZN, they suddenly hit shallow waters, making them even more vulnerable to attack. Dolphins are the ringleaders in the feeding frenzy that ensues. By working as a team, they strategically herd the sardines into shallow bays, blocking off their escape routes. At the same time, they take turns charging into the shoal, slicing balls of fish off in the process. Through this relentless, coordinated attack, all that's left is to pick off the pockets of frantic, exhausted sardines. Once the hard work is done, sharks and other game fish get in on the action. As the sardines move closer and closer to shore, another predator finally strikes.
The number of people that get fed from the Sardine Run is extraordinary. It's an absolute bounty, but yeah, the odds are definitely stacked against these little guys. They're attacked from all angles, and then they get pulled out onto land as well.
Yeah, it's mayhem. It's big, giant sharks just in the shore break everywhere, rolling. There's just game fish, tuna, kuta, garrick. It's nice to see. It's wild, eh?
You have to weigh up quite a few different things, knowing how many predators there are following the sardines.
You can still surf, just go down the beach where they're not. Just got to look around.
No one can say with certainty what happens to the remaining sardines after they reach KwaZulu-Natal, where the cold current dissipates. New research shows that some surviving fish go deeper to escape the intolerably warm water, while other theories suggest they make their way back south. Even less clear is how long this phenomenon may last. Scientists fear that climate change and rising sea temperatures are altering the currents that drive the Sardine Run and could change it irrevocably, or even see it disappear. For now, only one thing is certain.
The Sardine Run is one of the most incredible nature events on the planet. Everything just aligns at the same time. You know, if you're out on a big day and there's a bait ball off backline, there's a humpback whale breaching over there, and then you've got dolphins riding waves with you, it's insane. I honestly don't think anything could be more exciting than being a part of the ocean during the Sardine Run.
It's just nice to see nature like 200 years ago. That's kind of what it's like.
To be immersed in that is pretty special.
Sunlight, dearest sunlight, I am calling you across the old room. Sunlight, dearest sunlight, I can find my way out of the womb. Something in me feels like all of me, and we dance all alone.
Just arrived, looks pretty dark still, but there's definitely some beautiful lines. Kind of freaking out. I think everyone's super excited. We're gonna get some super fun waves, a couple tubes maybe. This is gonna get so much better too with the lower tide. There's been a lot of action in the water the last couple days. I can actually see some birds diving. I can actually see a couple dolphins every now and then, but I think we're fine. Just be sensible and don't go and surf like where it's all happening.
Oh my God, that was all over.
Best waves of the trip so far. Let's get out there. The ocean is still an open wilderness, and as surfers I feel like we get to really experience nature to the fullest. That's part of what surfing is, and that's why we do it. It's sick, you know.
If I catch one fish, I'm happy I get a little surf in the school, you know what I mean? But it's not all about the waves, it's about just being here, experiencing the mud and everything, getting stuck and making big fires and cruising, and yeah, no, it's good, eh? I love it.
It was pretty wild. I guess why it's called the Wild Coast. Just to come and see it firsthand and be in the environment, especially with like an amazing crew, it's just like, yeah, it doesn't really get much better.
Anywhere you go, there's like always challenges. Just roll with the punches and just be present and enjoy where you are.
You hope for the best and you hope you get good waves, but it's all part of the adventure. And the adventure is what really matters.
Times and places are all in who you share them with. And it's life